where do we learn to be so negative about ourselves? Is there not a way of seeing that, from a deeper place within us, that all this negativity is only a kind of the inverse, the swinging difference between all this positivity? We aggrandize the self, some do. Some pump themselves up and inflate themselves as a way of, being a special someone, or overcoming the world, overcoming other people, overcoming their own inner negativity. And so some people, go that way. And a lot of other people, and it's a lot of the other people who end up on a spiritual journey, swing towards the self-negation, the negative view of the self, always criticizing self, always demeaning self, always putting it down, always belittling, berating, undermining. And really you can't carry either of those two on the spiritual path. Both of those bags of, the victim or the aggressor, the bombast or the weakling in a way, both of those have to be jettisoned and let go of. For neither of them carry the truth of us. That's why, self-criticism and self-negation, especially if you open for a bit, let's say, and then life comes along and you close down again, or you fall off the path, or any of this stuff, or you screw up, or you go back to addictive patterns, there's no point in just self-berating or punishing oneself for doing this unless it opens a door to a deeper inquiry. So self-negation, is only valid in the sense that it opens the door to a deeper humility, a deeper not knowing, a deeper inquiry, a deeper humbling, a deeper seeing. What is this self-negation? Who is this self that is negating itself? Who is this self that is aggrandizing itself? What is the self? What is this made up thing of patterns and structures and defenses and attacks and stories and beliefs and ideas? What is the scaffolding upon which the self stands and then seeks to live in the world from that precarious scaffolding? That's the ego self. It's not a thing. It's not an entity. It's a pattern, a structure, a movement. And we've got an idea of the self built on that movement, on that structure, on that sort of false foundation. But you say how self-negation not only reifies, it reinforces the sense of a separate self. It reinforces the very thing that we're on the spiritual path to undo. Self-negation reinforces the same way self-aggrandizing reinforces. And so this whole idea has to come undone, which is pretty wild, which is pretty scary for many, of course. But I think for the purposes of this video, what I'm saying is You know, if there's a tendency to self-negate, to self-berate, you know, stop and ask, where did I learn to do this? Where did I learn to be so self-negating from? Was it modeled? Was it drummed into me by others? Chances are it was. A sort of response to the environment of childhood often is I'm not good enough. The I'm not good enough syndrome that many carry around insidiously and not so insidiously, you know, as a foundational belief turned into truth. It's not the truth. It's not the truth. It's an idea, and it's a response to you know, what is perceived as a hostile, threatening, conditional experience when we were young. Certain modelling happened in the parental situation, and we learned that, you know, if they say it enough times, then I must be not good enough. And then that becomes the basis on which we move around in the world. And any time something either doesn't go our way, or we're involved in reactivity, or we're involved in moving in the world and relationship and stuff, there it is again. There it is again. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. You know, something's wrong with me. The self-negation, the hair shirt. That has to come to an end. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't go anywhere except as a conscious form of inquiry, to really look at it, strip it away, strip it back, say, I'm done with just believing it in this looping kind of way. I'm not a hamster on a wheel. You know, I'm living a life here of authenticity, and I'm going to look at that very part that seems so real. This is one aspect of it. There are many ways to look at one's psychology, but looking like this at the tendency that we have to self-berate when we get it wrong on the spiritual path or relational path or whatever path. It's all happening, you know, within ourselves, regardless of whether it's spiritual or non-spiritual. It's the habits, the patterns. You know, this is why I go on so much about the patterns that we weave, because those patterns need to come undone or be seen clearly, at least. Be seen clearly. And when they're seen clearly, something else happens. Something really starts to happen. We come into a deeper aspect of ourselves, a deeper seeing, a deeper knowing. Because when we see that we're enslaved to patterns that in many ways certainly don't have anything to us as the unconditional awareness or the divine truth of us, or the innocent nature, the innocent essence of our true nature, when we see that all of that self-negation doesn't have anything to do with that, it's like an overlay on the top of our pristine nature, then we're like, okay, those beliefs need to be seen clearly and allowed to come undone. And where does that leave us? I'm not going to answer that question, because that's part of the journey, is where does that leave us? If I don't believe that, and I don't believe that, and I don't believe that, and I refuse to believe that anymore, then who are we? Who are we? And the greatest question of all in many ways is, who are we? Who am I? What is this? What is this I? Great questions. Bless you.